Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third annual Hawkeye Poetry Slam. Come on in. For those of you still coming in, come on in, take a seat. My name is Ryan Courtney. I will be the host of this event. For those of you who do not know me, I am an assistant professor here in communication studies, public speaking, as well as theater and performance. I also lead the Performing Arts Club here on campus. So if you see this event today and you feel inspired by what you see and you think, maybe I'd like to try something like that myself, I encourage you, feel free to talk to me afterwards. I'd love to help you find a class you can take, the Performing Arts Club that you can join, something like that, let you in the loop for upcoming events so that you can be a part of this in the future. What you're about to see today is a variety of current Hawkeye students and very recent Hawkeye graduates performing original poetry. They're putting themselves out there. They're going to be sharing stories, painting pictures, conveying concepts, all with the idea of trying to connect with you, the audience. So, I understand some of you maybe have not been to a poetry slam before. If you're sitting in the audience and you see or hear something that really speaks to you, feel free to make a little noise. In the poetry world, that can mean giving some snaps. That can mean giving a little woo, a little cheer, something like that. Feel free to make a little noise. When people are up here on stage, it can help feed them, give them more energy, let them know that they are being appreciated for what they put out there. So please, be willing to make a little noise. I know we're filming and everything, but feel free to still celebrate what you're seeing up here, okay? So like I said, we are gonna be celebrating poetry today, but also this is a competition. And since it's a competition, we're gonna need some judges. So we have a lovely judging panel that I want to introduce today before we get started. We have 3 judges, some of Hawkeye's finest. First off, we have Robin Sprague. She is a professor in the Department of English and Communication. She teaches various creative writing classes here at Hawkeye. She is a poetry lover herself. If you've been to other events like this, maybe you've even seen her perform some of her own poetry before. Please give it up for Robin Sprague. She is also returning judge tonight. Our second judge is Joshua Mitchell. He is an instructional designer here at Hawkeye. So if you work here, you've almost certainly heard him talk about Canvas. However, beyond that, he also has a background in music and spoken word poetry himself. I'm very happy to have him here today. Please give it up for Joshua Mitchell. Our third judge tonight is Joshua Norton. He is a library reference assistant here at Hawkeye. Library technician, sorry about that. Library technician here at Hawkeye. He also has a creative writing background. Please give it up for Joshua Norton. They're all very highly qualified judges for this event. However, like any other art form, poetry is subjective. It's totally possible that what speaks to one judge might not connect as much to another judge. And a poem that speaks to you in the audience might not connect as much to any of these judges. And so with that idea in mind, I also want to allow all of you in the audience to be judges too. So at the end of this event, we will have little ballots that we pass out to everybody in the audience, and I will ask for you to cast your vote for who you thought gave the best performance tonight, okay? When you're thinking about this, I want you to think about both written poetry and performance and delivery skills, okay? Try to find that balance of who's doing the most here, but also who connects with you, right? There is no right answer, okay? So, without further ado, let's get an idea who's gonna perform here today. We have 11 performers here. Again, current Hawkeye students or very recent Hawkeye graduates. I'm very excited for the variety and poetry that you're gonna see here today. Y'all ready to see some performances? All right, so without further ado, let's get started with our first performer. Please give a warm welcome to Cassie Nosko.
Okay, I think this is tall enough. Hi, guys. Okay, this is called the 5 senses. I'm often a stranger to my own existence, unable to stop that chaotic rhythm in my restless chest. Shaky hands grab at my throat each morning, making it difficult to breathe, eyes embedded underneath my worn skin, waiting for a mistake to appear. The tart taste of failure fills my mouth before the morning coffee pot is even full. Rooms get smaller, making it harder to stay still while sweat soaks into the outfit I had planned days in advance. You only have 3 options: fight, flight, freeze. When I was 12 years old, a family counselor had told me to use the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding method. It wasn't that hard until I was forced to use it every other hour of every day, of every week, of every month, of every year. Identify 5 things you're able to observe. I cannot keep looking at the same water markings on ceilings, the same dirt hugging the same tiles, the same crack in my phone screen, the same split ends in my hair, or the same strangers that have no idea that the color in their eyes or the pins on their backpack bring me comfort for a short period of time. Identify 4 things you can touch. I cannot keep touching the same painful cuticles that often blend in with my bitten nails, the same cold bathroom sink water, the same black pen that is no longer able to click, or the same scabs on my upper arms that I tormented the day prior. Identify 3 things you're able to hear. I cannot keep listening to the same strangers' conversations, the same wind that the leaves slowly die to, or the same 3 songs that were once my favorite, but now bring obnoxious comfort. Identify 2 things you can taste. Identify 2 things to smell. I cannot keep smelling the same cheap vanilla bourbon perfume I've worn since I was 14, or the same smell of tobacco and downtown cigarettes. Identify 1 thing you're able to taste. I cannot keep tasting the same 4 flavors of gum that have replaced so many meals. This method doesn't sound that hard until it devours the last shreds of your grace, confining you to the dark, the same dark that you've always avoided, forced to face emotions that you've learned to mask so well. This method doesn't sound that hard until you find yourself forced to use it. I'm often a stranger to my own existence, bound to my toxic companion anxiety.
Thank you, Cassie. Next up, our second performer will be Dakota Wheeler.
In 2015, I had to take a breather. And for those unaware, that is a microscopic teaser. Trauma, abuse, neglect. I need not be brought down by such unfortunate events. What about death? Death is the enigma, yet it's not always the enemy. It can be a blessing. I hear others bring up stories of death, and I'll say to breathe when I have not yet taken a breath myself. I understand it has never been that simple for anyone, even for me. For even my own breath can be stolen. I've learned to be a strong force of good, to be a better example to those that look at me, a force with little evil left within him. I've had to live my life carefully, pick friends wisely, be in healthy environments, but troubled by my thoughts. Do you think I'm paranoid? Although not everyone is against me, as I feel some are, this paranoia makes me act with purpose, with structure. I worry, I wonder, I think, I ponder. Who will turn against me? Who will join me in my recovery process? Who will understand it? I've had support since day one, my early days being full of horror stories. Stories I tell to force fear into people like you. And although my heart is strong, it often beats too fast, not just due to high blood pressure, but the pressure of having to be strong. I've received love from my family and friends, even love from failed relationships. Yet I'm still haunted by weakness. Weakness comes about through cold sweats, vivid dreams. Some can be dark, some are rewarding. These can determine the rest of my day. Nightmares based on unrealistic choices, my troubled past, dreams based on lost love. I'll awake sweating, pounding my head on my bed in anger, wondering, what could I have done differently? I awake defeated. Rest. For this was the devil's plan at work. And I will not let him ignite what has long been extinguished. My addictions will always persist, but God willing, I am still winning, all because of my strategy. Deep breaths.
One more time, that was Dakota Wheeler. Moving right along, we will go to our third performer today. Please give a warm welcome to Juniya Barnes.
So I've titled my piece "An ABC Darius" for my first poetry slam. Born from a place that whispers sworn violence, cutthroat, gun smoke, repeating tales of death, put fear at the heart of the city. Evening on an orange horizon melting pink, frail, weak, great-grandmother Bernice gradually smashing the remains of my mother's heart soul had left. I was only 5, but death was bleak. January brought us to a new state, kindly sweeping us past landscape of neat rows of cornstalk. My imagination of a beautiful home betrayed me. Never glued to a single place, over and over we bounced like the ball in a pinball machine. Reliving the same story, we had grown tired, substituting illegally rags for riches. Truth is, though, at breaking dawn, men in white and blue amassed the ugly truth in all its grace. Vividly, I seen a world of lights, wailing in the remains from the men in white and blue. X'd out of the equation was to stay. But yearning for a way out led to zigzagging from this place to another. Thank you.
Give it up one more time for Juniya Barnes. Our fourth performer, please give it up for Peter McCarthy.
All right. "2023 was probably the worst year of my life. I lost my dog and found out how little a friend of nearly 10 years valued our friendship when he chose a girl who saw me as nothing more than an object over me. It was a real shitty stretch, and one that didn't really give in until December. I found myself overwhelmed by anger, sorrow, grief, and depression more times than I could count. For a while, I was just treading water, because what else could I do? When I was going through it, it felt easiest to just throw myself into working out in classes and try to just minimize until therapy came around. I didn't want to put more on my friends, and I knew the only way through was forward. I wasn't going to let two events, no matter how devastating, define me. And I didn't get this far by accident. I didn't make it this far just to make it this far. I met a lot of people my age with so little respect for the people who cared about them most. And the one thing that they all had in common was being terrified of being themselves and being seen as they are. There's nothing cute about tearing someone down to fill the void where your confidence should be. And there's no shame or guilt in letting these people go. Kindness is everything, but you have to be kind to yourself first.
I don't think I said this at the beginning, but I hope you know a lot of these performers are performing this poetry for the first time. So let's give it up one more time for Peter McCarthy. Our next performer, please give a warm welcome to Jessica Holtron.
Be here, do this. Be there, do that. Stand tall, shrink small. Still, I begged the sun to let the moon in, and I begged the moon to let the sun out. Satisfying life full of white picket bliss, condemned to a perfectionistic ideal, suffocating in the joyous charade, drowning in the deceitful pleasantries. Laughing with a frozen smile, loving with a forgotten heart. Don't think, don't feel, don't hurt, don't speak. Still, I begged the sun to let the moon in, and I begged the moon to let the sun out. A discouraging soul born from self-sabotage, shrouded in the agony of reality, diving into the creative hatred, clutching the demanding spark, crying with a fiery tear, fearing with a restrained thought. I am everything you have dreamed of and nothing you had wished for. I no longer shrink small. I stand tall.
One more time, that was Jessica Holtron. Our next performer, please welcome to the stage, Keve.
Thank you. My poem is titled The Benevolent Itch. People say fear is a void, that it is a dark hole or a red flashing light, that it consumes you. Fear is a stalking figure, towering over us all, striking when you least expect it. This looming emotion follows you around everywhere you turn, there it is. An eerie smile on its face. Even if you don't sense it, it's there, and it knows just how to break you. At least that's what they say. But they are wrong. Fear is none of these things. It's not a void or a hole. It definitely can't consume you. And fear can't smile. It doesn't have a figure. Fear is an instinct, an impulse created by our ancestors. It's what stops us from running headfirst into the unknown. It saved them from ravaged animals and deadly creatures from all around. They learned to turn away from the cave instead of walking towards it. And those who did, well, my science teacher taught me all about this wonderful concept, natural selection. Natural selection, it saved the men who turned away. And whoever walked forward, well, they learned. And the ones who walked away spread more of that feeling that saved that man. Fear is not a bad thing. It is beautiful. It's a warning saving us all. But fear is human. Humans have error. This feeling can flare up at the worst of times. It senses danger when a big event comes up, you meet someone new, or even when you perform in front of your peers. These moments are not fatal, so why is this emotion going off? It leaves it up to you to feel that fear, but take the jump anyway. Acknowledge it and move on. This is called bravery by many. The absence of fear, a feeling to defeat the panic. They say it's the golden trait without any fright. Bravery is none of these things, but that will be a story for another day.
One more time, that was Ash Keve. Moving on, our next performer, please give it up for Walk Osborn.
Have you ever wanted to smoke a cigarette? Cigarette by Walk Osborn. You fat cow! Who do you think you are for talking to me like that? You really think he's gonna love you? Girl, the body. The body. There's two types of people in this world. The cigarettes and the lighters. The cigarettes want to be your friend, and they just want to fit in, and they want to be somebody. They always come in packs, nice and new, and ready to smoke. Then there's the lighters. They will be your friend, but they will hurt you, and they will insult you, and they will make you feel like you're the problem, and they will light you up and watch you burn and burn and burn until you're just another little bite under their foot. Thank you.
One more time, give it up for Osborn. A lot of variety in these poems. Next up, our next performer is no stranger to this stage. She performed here last year as well. Please give it up for Nakia Hicks.
Good evening. My name is Nakia Hicks, and I will be reading The Impact of Racism. In a world divided by colors and creed, we gather here in this poetic deed. Speaking of race and the struggles untold, break the change and be bold. Slam the walls of racism, leaving no trace from the echoes of history. We rise words as our weapons, we defy the lies. We'll fight this fight for the life of poetry. There is no black, no brown, or white. Just voices shining bright. Celebrations of diversity for all to see. Let our voices be heard. Let love be our word that we share. In this poetry slam, stories of triumph and pain, unity sought often in vain. Let the rhythm flow, let the words unite. We slam the walls of racism taking flight. Challenging stereotypes, shatter the mold, every syllable untold. From the scars of slavery for the fight for rights, I honor the heroes who paved the way for racism to end. We stand united in this poetic space. Race is not a burden, but a strength. We embracing our differences, we celebrate our roots, we let our voices echo a fire within, a spark so bright. In this realm of poetry, we find unity, platform for change and equality. In battle against racism, we take a stand. Poetry as our weapon. We demand a world where race is not a dividing wall, but a bridge that connects us all.
One more time, give it up for Nakia Hicks. I think these judges have their work cut out for them. Our next performer here, please give a warm welcome to Cabaniss.
This piece is titled Hanger. I've learned time and time again that my purpose in life is to be a hanger, to display luxuriously crafted artwork worth more than my entire existence. It gives me purpose. It gives me passion. Tonight, I will be the best hanger this world has ever seen. The blinding lights of the runway reveal every last detail my shriveled body has left to offer. Striking streaks strip me down to my raw, purest form. The clothes, tightly pressed against my willowed frame, fit me to perfection. Shimmering shades of sapphire shine off me and onto the runway. On stage, I'm a beacon of fashion, an icon adored by all. Strutting down the runway, I suddenly feel the urge to run away from the perverted paparazzi ogling upon me like a hunter, eyeing down its prey. It was at that moment I locked eyes within the roaring flashes of camera shutters. A girl, plump and rosy, beams at me. Astonishment dilates her perfectly pure pupils. But her eyes were a vortex, pulling me through the tumultuous tides of adolescence. I saw myself in her and was brought back to when I was 15 years of age. My distinguished, disgruntled, domineering agent poking and prodding me, inspecting me, grazing every crevice my feeble frame possessed, until he finally spat in my ear. "You'll do nicely. You're gonna be a star, honey." I snapped back to the stage, dazed and confused. My skin was bubbling and burning profusely. The runway split into a spinning, spiraling staircase, and I began to tumble down, shattering like priceless porcelain. Shrieks started to ring throughout my fractured form as the world shifted into a pitch black. Piercing sweat awakens me from this hellish nightmare. I'm in my bed, the only safe haven this damned world has left for me. But even the sanctuary sleep provides has been corrupted by my career. My stomach erupted in pain. I had only eaten the white part of a lettuce head this week. I can't take it anymore. No more. Not another day. They groped me, morphed me, distorted me into their own imperfectly perfect image. There's only one way I can break free from the heavy chains encapsulating my soul. One selfish act, one liberating feat, one final curtain call. That night, I left the world hanging from my bedroom ceiling. Thank you.
Please give it up one more time for Claire Cabaniss. Up next, we have another returning performer from last year. Please give a warm welcome to Stefani Ridenour.
I look in the mirror and I wonder, who is that looking back at me? That's not who I picture when I picture myself in my head. But why does she look so different? Is there even any hint of me in there? I see myself in her eyes and in the set of her brow. But where's the rest of me? I don't know. I think I lost her slowly, ever so slowly. Little pieces chipped away, sacrifices on the altars of someone else's ego. Sacrifices, each one small, meant to keep the peace, but these sacrifices so seemingly insignificant, they really weren't worth fighting for. Am I not worth fighting for? How many sacrifices do I have left before I disappear completely?
One more time, that was Stefani Ridenour. All right, everybody, we got one left. All right? We got one left. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying this. Remember, before you all leave, I would like you all to cast your ballot before you leave here. But without further ado, we got one more performance, so please give a warm welcome to Sidney Fremont.
The looking glass. She gazed upon her reflection, a stranger in the mirror's distortion, donning glasses, yet swiftly shedding them as flaws emerge with crystal vision. The mirror adorned with lipstick stains, a guise, a deflection, a shield against her perceived infection, her kiss a malady, repelling all in its direction. Around the glass, her eyes roamed, a mosaic of unattainable beauty, magazine women with ample chests, slender waists, and curvious thighs, a deception woven in glossy lies, trying to recreate what she's seen. She begins to shapeshift, the blood clean. Cleansing in the crimson tide, beauty is pain, she sighed, tears like dew drops falling. And the looking glass she beheld a visage alien, a distorted tableau of a disfigured reflection. Why elude my affection? She wondered aloud, a fragile puff escaping her lips. Wiping away blood and tears, posing as tough, she adorned her visage with makeup, a mask concealing a battered complexion. I yearned to be enough. In the dim lights of dawn, she stands, a silhouette against the morning haze, a shadow of her former self. With trembling hands, she reaches out to tracing the contours of her fractured identity, each crack a testament to battles fought within, each shard a fragment of her dreams. Yet, in the brokenness, she finds resilience, a flicker of hope. Amidst the chaos, embracing her imperfection, she lets go of the illusion of perfection, embracing her scars as badges of honor. And as she steps forward on a new day, she steps forward a phoenix rising from the ashes, reclaiming her reflection with unwavering grace. And with a smile, she turns away from the looking glass with a newfound identity.
Let's give one more round of applause for all of our performers tonight. As I said before you all leave, please, there's gonna be ballots over here. I will have Eden over here. Please wave your hand over here. Eden's gonna be helping pass out these ballots. We'll have some extra pens as well. So please fill this out. There's a few extra questions I would like you to answer. Shouldn't take you much time at all. Please answer who gave you the most life tonight. Who had the best poem and the best performance? Who spoke to you the most, right? Afterwards, we will have some awards to give out. Feel free to stick around. But also, make sure to come and speak to these performers. Make sure to tell them what their performance has meant to you. I think we had some really high quality performances today. So really, come up and tell them about what they meant to you. One more time, I just want to make sure to acknowledge each person. So when I say your name, please stand up, kind of raise your hand. At the top, we had Cassie Nosko. Then we had Dakota Wheeler. Then we had Juniya Barnes. Peter McCarthy. Jessica Holtron. Ash Keve. Osborn. Nakia Hicks. Cabaniss. Stefani Ridenour. And Sidney Fremont. Okay, everybody. We had some tough competition, I'll tell you what. Some high quality performances. So I want to remind you all, especially for those of you putting yourselves out there for the first time, there's something very satisfying about doing that, and I hope that no matter how these results turn out, that you continue performing, continue writing, continue putting yourselves out there, and pursuing new opportunities in the future, okay? That being said, how this is gonna work is we're gonna have, starting, 2 honorable mention awards. Then we will have 3rd, 2nd, and 1st place determined by our judging panel, and we will end with our Audience Choice Award, okay? Our first honorable mention is receiving a $25 Target gift card. Jessica Holtron. Our second honorable mention, please give it up for Sidney Fremont. In 3rd place, receiving a trophy and a $25 Target gift card, please give it up for Claire Cabaniss. In 2nd place, receiving a trophy and a $50 Target gift card, please give it up for Stefani Ridenour. And our champion today, our judges champion, receiving a trophy and a $100 Target gift card. Please give it up for Osborn. We've got one more award left, and that is the Audience Choice Award. I gotta say, everybody had a little love coming their way in these Audience Choice Awards. But the winner, receiving a trophy and a $50 Target gift card, is Osborn. Once again, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for our performers. Thank you to our audience. Thank you for participating and being part of this. If you want to be a part of future events like this, please come and talk to me. My name is Ryan Courtney. Have a nice night, everybody.
I know. I know you mentioned that. Oh my God.